Hey everyone, hope we're good. I'm just gonna make sure we are live because you never know with these things. So let's take a look and see if we're actually on here. Looking promising though, which is all good. So let's bring up the chat and we'll get things started. Can't see myself yet, so let's give this a quick go, see if we can bring ourselves up into here. Make sure we've got the chat up. And so if anyone can see me okay and hear me okay, just let me know in the comments. Yeah, hopefully you guys can see me okay. And I can see what's actually going off inside the group, which would be great if that's the case. Looking relatively promising anyway. Cool. Well, I'm going to give people a couple of minutes just to show up. Yeah, it looks like it came okay. We've got some lights coming in, which is absolutely awesome. So I'm just going to see if I can get myself up on the app on here. And then we'll kick things off. So if you can hear me okay, just make sure you say hello into the comments. It'll always be awesome to hear you, to see who's actually watching, see you listen. Just let us know where you're listening from. Let us know where you're watching from. And then yeah, we'll kick things off in just a moment. So I want to give people a couple of minutes just to show up and watch. Hey John, how you doing? I feel like it's been ages since I've spoken to you. Long time. Well, not ages, but a little while. Awesome. Cool. Happy days. Right, let's go minimize some of these things down so I can actually continue to see the chat and everything else that's going on this page over here. So I'm not just staring away from the screen, which is all good. Cool, we've got a couple of people watching now, which is ace. So I think we'll start kicking things off a little bit into this one. So today, what we're actually talking about today, well, basically what we're going to be going through today is kind of the start to finish of how to set up and sell your services using Peak Distinction through your website or even mini site if you want. So I'm going to focus mainly here around the website, but yeah, we'll focus on mini site if people want to see how to do that. But we're going to focus mainly around the website, how to integrate all that, and how to get things set up. Cheers, John. I appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. So let's dig into it. So I'm going to get straight into this. As we're going through this, you've got any questions whatsoever, please do let us know. Like I said, I've got the comments open so I can see them as they're coming in. If you're watching this on the replay, please just type in a replay into the comments just so I know. I'll be around to try and answer any questions. But like I said, if you've got any questions, or please do ask. Please interrupt me as I go through. It's not a problem at all. We're going to dig pretty much straight into the PTD software, and we're going to talk about I'm going to try and get from start to finish here. I'm going to go on the assumptions that most people here have played around with PTD. They understand the different types of content and how that kind of works and how to actually put that into PTD. And we're going to do a little bit about ground groups today, a lot around pre-made packages today. And we're going to talk about how you can use all those things together. And, if you're a PT at the moment using PT distinctioning, you find that, it takes a while for you to take payments, to onboard clients, to sign them up into it. I want to show you really how you can set all that up now in a relatively simple way. We're not going to go into anything too complicated. I might show you some cool little tricks you can do towards the end. But we're going to start with some absolute basics here about how you can literally bring a new client in into your program, how you can sell it to them, onboard them, and then start adapting and adjusting stuff for them in their account. And this whole entire onboarding process, this whole taking payment process can be done literally in your sleep. And that's what I want to go through today. That's exactly what I want to show you how to do today. So I reckon we should dig straight into this yeah, and kind of get started. So I'm going to bring up the comments on my phone. That should make life a little bit easier. I would hope. It'll make things a little bit easier if I can go and do that. So let's have a look. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. So we've got the comments up. Gus is with us, and obviously John is with us, which is great. So I'm going to go straight into my PTD account. Hopefully you guys can see my screen as we go and do that. And I want to start off with the process we're going to go through today. So what I want to focus on really today is how do we onboard a client. I'm not going to worry about automated programs too much, and just note that what we're going to do here will work for fully automated programs. It really will do. So if you just want to leave an automated program that runs out completely automatically for a client, you can do that with this process. But I know the majority of people here tend to do coaching with clients and they tend to work with them. And the things that you tend to want to automate is going to be that onboarding process. We always find the onboarding process is what takes a long time. And if anyone wants to find out one of the best ways to try and onboard clients from what we've seen over at PT Ninja in terms of the data, I do actually have a training on that. And if you do want to copy that, just type in onboarding into the comments and I'll make sure I'll send you the training over for that. It will literally take you through exactly what we've seen as the best way to onboard clients. Not just using PTD, but in any way at all, like literally all what the data shows us. So I'm going to base that logic, that data around what we're going to do here today. And that's what we're going to go and set up. But I will, towards the end, show you some different cool ways of doing stuff as well. Hey, Lloyd, how you doing? Nice to see you on here. Right then. So the first thing we think about here is the way this works in terms of some of the automations in PTD is we need to use pre-made packages. Now, pre-made packages are found over here in the pre-made package section. I see pre-made packages that allow you to do a couple of things, but mainly their job is to allow a client to sign themselves up into a program. That's what the main purpose is here of a pre-made package. Now, a lot of people think when we're looking at pre-made package here, oh, it's all automated stuff. You know, this is how I want to offer, I don't know, some workout package or some strength training package or some nutrition package or whatever it is and not touch it. That's what a lot of people think pre-made package is for, but it's not. You can use it for that, but you can use them for so much more as well. And that's what I'm going to go and explore with you now. So we're going to look at what these pre-made packages are. And we're going to use a pre-made package to set up a service that we can offer to our clients, a service where a client can come to our website, they can find out about us, they can make a payment, they can sign up to the program, and they can be onboarded, given everything they need, all their forms, everything else they need in order to get started. So that by the time you wake up in the morning, that you'll be able to go into your PTD account, say, hey, I've made X amount of money and I can see I've got 3-4 clients in here now waiting for me to go through their details, already sat there waiting for us, and I can start adding programs to them. That's what we're going to do today. And like I say, towards the end, I'm going to show you just really how far you can maybe take that as well in terms of how quick you can actually edit stuff for people as well. But the focus really is around this sign-up process we're going to do here. So let's go and explore what this pre-made package is first at the front. So at the top here, we're going to give this a package name. So I'm going to call this our online, just going to call it online coaching. So our online coaching package in here. And down here, we have this introduction explains what these pre-made packages are and how the whole thing works. The next thing we have over here is groups. So groups, what are groups inside PT? So hopefully if you're watching this, you have a bit of an understanding about what groups are. And I think this here is where, again, a lot of people sometimes get confused with what groups really are. A lot of people think groups is all about group training. So you put a client in there, you put all your content in one group and you deliver it to them. Yes, you can use groups for that. But you can use groups for so much more if you want to. Like groups can be used for organizing clients. They can be used for delivering content to clients, doing messaging for clients, but also giving you a system that's really, really flexible that allows you to adapt and adjust stuff for clients very, very quickly. And that's what we're going to do here. We're going to use not one group, but multiple groups to create this package for your clients. Now, I'm going to explain why as we go through this training video. And hopefully you'll see as we get towards the end of this training video, why we actually use this technique, which we're going to call group stacking, this idea of using multiple groups together to create a single program for a client. And if you're thinking, well, I don't want my clients to know they're part of multiple groups, well, they won't know they're part of multiple groups. The reason is a client will have no idea they're part of a group unless you actually tell them. So the best way to think about groups for you is just a way of grouping content together that you're going to deliver to your clients. And you can have to multiple groups at the same time. And you can give amazing programs that you can adapt and adjust very, very quickly. And that's how we're going to be using them today. Has anyone got any questions so far? If you have, just drop it into the comments. Hey, Joe. How are you doing, man? So yeah, that's our group bit on here. We're going to come back to the groups in a second. And we're going to look at how that works. We then have some other sections down here. We have remove groups. So this allows us to actually remove groups from the package as well and from the client, not just add groups in. This again gives us lots more flexibility. This actually allows us to build almost funnels inside PT Distinction where we can have a client come into, say, a free challenge or some kind of lead magnet. And then we can then move them from that lead magnet all automatically into your online coaching program like this. And when that happens, we can have it so it automatically removes old groups that might have upsell email sequences in there, might have lead magnet content in there, and replace them automatically with new groups that has all your new content in there and welcome them in. All this stuff we can actually automate. And that's what this package here allows us to do. We then have the sell line section, and in here we have 4 different options on the top of the sell line section. Now, the ones we're going to focus on today are going to be these ones here on this side. These are options to take using PayPal buttons here, and there's an option here using via PTD. I'm going to recommend that you don't use these ones. They do exist for a reason. There are the odd occasions where you might want to use these, but ideally, and again, I'm always going to base things off of data here. This is all about data that we see at PT Ninja. I want to make sure you have the most information you can to be as successful as possible. And realistically, the setups you can do with these 2 types of payment systems is better than what you can do with these 2 types of payment systems over here. Now, that doesn't mean you're not going to be using PayPal. In fact, we're going to focus around using PayPal on here. You can do a similar kind of process to what we're talking about here without using PayPal. And if you are watching this and you're not using PayPal, just let me know in the comments and I will talk you through exactly how to do that as well. But we're going to focus on these 2 here. Now, we have with sign up form and no payment, which basically uses exactly the same sign up form. The only real difference is when a client completes a sign up form with this option, no payment is taken. When they complete a sign up form with this option here, a payment is taken. That's the main difference between the 2. Now, if we come down here to the bottom, you see I have a number of different boxes. This one we're going to come back to later. And down here, we have a box where we can put in our PayPal button. Now, if you're not sure how to make a PayPal button, they are pretty easy to do. You can, as long as you've got a business account in PayPal, this will work. So you do need to have a business account with PayPal in order for this to work. It doesn't cost you anything. There are options to have paid business accounts in PayPal. You don't need the paid ones. Always go for the free one. You definitely need a paid version to use this kind of system I'm talking about here. So the free version of a business account in PayPal, make sure you get all the stuff set up inside there. A lot of people struggle with PayPal sometimes because they don't send out all the right identification stuff and things like that. Just make sure you follow all the process they ask you to do. If you do that, you'll have a good time with them. If you do miss any of those things, you'll probably have a bad time with them. So it's really important that you do follow all the instructions and do all the things they ask you to do. They're all there for legal reasons. Remember, this is a business account, so it's going to ask for that kind of evidence to make sure you are a business and all that kind of stuff. So make sure you do all that. Get your account set up, get it in good standing, and you'll be having a good time with them. Then once you've done that, what you can do inside your PayPal account is create PayPal buttons. And when you go to the PayPal button section, and again, depending where you are in the world, the way you go through this is slightly different, but you basically always end up in the same place in the PayPal button place. You have lots of different options for your PayPal buttons, but the ones you want to go for is either the buy now or the subscription. They're the only 2 types of buttons you want to go for. They're the ones that will work with PTD here. You will see smart buttons. Please don't use smart buttons. They won't work with PTD properly, not really designed for that. You want to use the standard buy now button or the standard subscription button in your PayPal. You can then create that, and once you've created that, it will give you some codes. Just follow the on-screen instructions, really easy to do. It will give you some code. That code, you're then going to paste into this box. And I'm going to show you that very, very shortly as well, but that's what will go in there. Down here, you can put some accompanying text. This way you can put your price in and that kind of thing for your package. Down the bottom here, you can choose whether you're going to preset the sex or not. So this isn't gender, this is sex. This is the biological sex of that person. Purely just there for the built-in body fat percentage calculator you can get inside PT Distinction. That's in the results tracking area. Now here, if you click not preset, it will give the option for the client to choose when they sign up. Or if you just pick one, it won't give them the option. It'll delete that from the form. And just bear in mind, your client will have no idea what you actually picked on here. So unless you plan to use the body fat percentage calculator, just pick any one of them. It doesn't really matter. It's completely irrelevant to everything else that's inside PTD for them. You can choose to leave in or remove phone number fields, whether you want to capture their phone number or not. Remember, if you do capture their phone number, you can send them SMS text messages through PTD. That's particularly useful when it comes to adherence. If you have clients that are struggling on adherence sometimes, maybe not checking in, you can give them a little nudge with an SMS text message, because it's quite a useful feature. And then down here, you can choose to enable your login details. And at this point here, we're actually going to disable those login details in here. And I'm going to come back and do all this in a moment. Down the bottom, we have something called incomplete signups. If you didn't see my video yesterday, definitely go and check it out. We talked about active clients and inactive clients. And I went into quite a bit of detail about this bit down here and how that actually works and how you can actually use this to send abandoned cart sequences to your clients and bring them back into your program again. Again, I'm not going to go into too much detail around that in this training. I only want to try and keep you here for maybe another 40 minutes or so at the most. Like I say, it's a masterclass that's going to focus on one particular thing. But if you want to find out more about how you can utilize some of this and how to utilize inactive clients, again, either type inactive in the comments and I can send the link over to you for the training, or if you just scroll back to yesterday in this group, you'll see the training I put in there for that if you want to go and check it out. After that, we then have the voucher section here. This isn't discount codes, it isn't discount vouchers or anything like that. This is actually to do with a different way of using pre-made packages. We're not going to focus on that in this one because there are ways you can use this, and there's some very quite clever ways you can use this depending on the type of setup you want to do with PTD, and we can talk about those in other trainings. But like I said, what I want to do on this masterclass is focus on what we're trying to focus on, which is setting up and actually selling your services through PT Distinction on your website. So we're going to keep it with the basics. Not going to worry about this one here, but just note it's not discount vouchers or anything like that. In the advanced options, we can decide how long we give our client access for. So let's say if we're selling a 12-week program, we can give them access for 12 weeks. Or if we do in a subscription-based program, we can actually decide how long we want to extend access for after payment's been made. Now, this only works if you use PayPal. So you'll have to use PayPal for this option here to work. If you're not using PayPal and using something else like Stripe, for example, or Thrivecart or whatever it is, it's still possible to do something like this. However, you're going to need a Zapier integration in order to do it. So you're going to need a Zapier account or Zapier account, however you want to call it. You want to set that up, and then you want to use that with PT Distinction and what other payment software you've got. And you can actually make the same thing happen if you do that. Depending on what software you have, depends on how that will actually work. You know, I could be here for hours showing all the different softwares out there to do it. But just note that if you don't want to use PayPal, there are other ways to do things in here, and I can always do another training another week on different payment systems and how they can work inside PTD if you want to. Again, just let us know if that's something you want to do in the group, and I'll do it. Okay, so that's basically what a pre-made package is inside here. But let's go right back over here to this group section at the top. Now, inside this group section here, this is where we need to put our content. This is where our content is going to be triggered for our clients. But before we do that, we need to actually go and set up some groups to go and do this. Now, I have lots of groups in here already. It's my demo account that we use for demos and things like this. So I want to go and show you some of the groups we're going to set up and some of the groups we're going to use. And the groups we're going to use here are all to do with onboarding. I'm going to close this off for now, and I'm going to head back into the group section over this side here. And we're going to basically add a client to, I think we're going to do 3 different groups here. This is what I want to do. The first group I'm going to do is called, I'm going to call it a mail out group or your mail list group. It's entirely up to you what you want to call it. And then this one here, this is just going to be one group, absolutely nothing in here at all. But what it's going to do is allow us to organize all our clients into one place. And that means we can then send them emails out, send them message out, whatever we need to do to keep them all organized in here. So I always like to have this mail out group or this mail list group. The next thing we want to be doing in here is you want to be having a welcome group. So a way to onboard them and bring them into the program. Now, these welcome groups, you're probably going to want a few different things inside there. This might be a welcome video, a welcome document, and a welcome email, maybe some of your forms you want them to do. That's the kind of thing we want to put in. So I'm going to give you an example of a group we've got set up here. So I'm going to go into this welcome group over here. Now, if you're not sure about how to set up groups, definitely go and check out Masterclass Module 2. That is all about groups. And if you've never seen any of the masterclasses, you can book into them through your PTD account just by going to the help section up here, or you can actually go right down to the bottom and click on live masterclasses. The live masterclasses are literally what they are, they're classes, so you can just come along to them. We actually sit on an open Zoom session, so it's not just me talking to you, we actually all sit together, we talk about whatever it is you want to talk about, but we try and focus around particular subject matters. Module 2 is generally around groups and how that works. So if you want to come along, it's only small numbers, we keep them to less than 25 people in each one. And then we'll just have an open classroom session, and I'm there to try and help and support you. So definitely come and check those out if you haven't already. Anyway, back to this. So we're over here, we've got this welcome group set up, and then here in the setup section, you can see we have our managed expectations document and a welcome document. Again, just explaining exactly how things are going to work for the client, taking them through that process in here for them to use. And then once we've got that in here, we're going to go over to the message center at the top corner. And down here, we have the app login details about your program and how that's going to work as well. So I'm just going to view that in here. You can see emails already pre-set up in here, going out and joining. So all this stuff will go out automatically for your clients in here. So automatically. Also back in the group section at the top, we have our form set up over here as well. So all these forms are pre-done, already pre-set up, ready to go for your clients. So you do this once in this group, and then there's nothing else you do. It's done once and that's it, because it's going to be the same for every single client. Now, the other thing we're going to have, and you may think there, well, what about tracking? Where am I going to track all these details from and things like that? We're going to use a results tracking group for that. So I'm going to go into this one here. Just take another look at it. So inside this one, I'm going to head straight over into the schedule. You can see here, I'm going to switch this over to days after joining, because pretty much in groups, for the most part, you'll use days after joining. That's the number of days that's passed after a client has joined that particular group. And that's an important thing to remember as we go through the rest of this training. When you add a client to a group, we have these days here after joining. It's after joining the group, not joining your setup. So that actually means when we're building these Premier packages in a moment, which we're going to do together, we can actually decide on what day a group is added. And that means we can actually make sure that day 0 will fall on any particular day. So let's say if we're doing a more automated program, we wanted workouts to go out live for a client, we could actually get workouts to start automatically on Monday, and that will happen automatically day 0 from the Monday, and it'll drip feed out automatically from there. So lots of cool things you can do with groups. But for now, we're going to focus on the basics for onboarding. So we've got results tracking in here, reminders going out on the schedule for the client each week for them to go and complete what you need to go and complete. And we also have this document on here as well, explains to the client how to go and take their measurements. So you can see all the different measurements, where to actually go and do it, and how the whole process works for them. We've also got on each of these little messages. I like to put these things in because I think adding more clarity for your clients is better. The more clarity you can add, the better the experience for the client, the easier life is for you as an online PT. So we try and add clarity like this, so it's nice and clear for them, because these are actually going to be push notifications that come through to them on their phone, pop up on their device. So we've got a results tracking group from there. So far, we've got pretty much everything we need to onboard the client. We have our mail out group, coming to mail list. We have our welcome group, and we have our results tracking group all ready for them to go and onboard them. Now we've got that, we've got those set up, we can go and actually go and build this out in a premium package. Before I do that though, I'm going to say one thing for you might find really, really useful. You might be looking at these groups thinking, I've got to go and set them up. There's quite a bit to do inside there. Well, it wouldn't take you too long to go and set it up, but just to save you some time, I've pre-built these for you. So if you're watching this now and you actually want to follow through and do this, like I say, this is a masterclass, you can follow through to it. You actually got access to these in your PTD accounts if you want to go and do it. So if you head up into the community section up here in the top corner in your PTD account, and then head over to the partners section and go on to PTD Ninja in here, you'll actually be able to find all these templates. So you can actually just type in welcome in here, and it will give you the welcome groups for it. It'll give you the results tracking group for it. So that content is in there available for you. And all you need to do is copy that into your account by clicking the copy button, and then it will appear inside here as a group for you to use. So feel free to copy over the welcome group we put together and the results tracking group for you to put together. So if you want those, they're there for you, readily available if you want to use it. Now, once you copy those groups over, we're going to head back over into our Premier packages here. And we're going to go again and set up that package. So hopefully, give you a minute. If you are watching this, you're actually doing this live, that's fine. Just literally open your PTD up, go and copy that stuff over. Or of course, if you're watching the replay or watching this back, once you've copied those groups over, just follow exactly what I'm going to do here. And you can actually go and get this set up on your website. And you'll be, by the end of this, or within the next 25 minutes, you'll actually have everything set up ready to go and sell your online personal training services to your clients. It'll be done. And that's what I want to try and do with this masterclass today, help you actually get it so everything's set up and ready to go. So we're going to set up our online coaching package in here. I'm going to go straight to the group section. And I'm going to go, first of all, I'm going to go and add them into my mail out group. I'm going to add that immediately at the top. I'm then going to go down to my welcome group. So I'm going to scroll down and find my welcome group in here, which is here. I'm going to go and add that in as well into there. And then I'm also going to do my results tracking group. I'm going to go and add that in too. Now, just whilst I'm here, I'll show you a couple of little things whilst we're in this bit here. You can see here we have an option for on date, and we have an option for on day. So not only do you have to add groups in immediately, all this means when a client completes this premium package, it will add them to these groups here immediately. So day 0 will be the day they actually sign up to this package. However, I mentioned earlier, if you wanted to do like workouts to start on a Monday, for example, you're doing a more automated version of this, you can actually add things in at a later date. So you could say on here, okay, I want them to start a workout program and I want that to start out on a Monday. I can just do that. You can see here, it'll automatically start that on a Monday. So you can do lots of cool things in here. And if we get a bit of time at the end of this masterclass, I'll go through that and I'll show you like how you can do some automated stuff in here as well, just to give you a better idea of what you can do. But anyway, we've got this set up inside here. The next thing we want to go and do is we're going to go down to our remove groups. Now, if you've got maybe lead magnets or something else that's in there that you want to use, then you can actually start adding in the groups you want to remove from here. So I haven't really set up a lead magnet with you guys at the moment, but I do have one set up for my business through PTD. So I actually want that lead magnet group to be removed from that. So the whole point is I can put that in there and it removes from that group. It stops the emails and messages and everything else going out to them. So if I do have something before they get into it, maybe you're running like a challenge or something like that, and you're going to have this kind of automated onboarding, and you want that other content to be removed. Let's say someone signed up after your challenge and you would normally go in there and remove certain content or certain groups from them. This is the place where you'd do that automatically. You'd put the groups in you want to be removed and it will get rid of them automatically. So you can do that in there if you wanted to. Next thing we have is the sell online section. We're going to go and sell this particular service. Now, if I'm going to give you two options here. If we're going to use PayPal, we're going to use this option. If you're going to use another form of payment, maybe you're taking payment over the phone or something like that, you can use this option here. And you could technically do the same kind of thing. And I'm going to set this up in two different ways. But for now, though, I'm going to set this up using PayPal to show you how that would work. It's going to be a one-off payment in PayPal. And then once that's actually done, we can actually start selling our services for our website for this particular service in here. So I'm going to go straight in with the sign up form. And in this box down here, we want to go and put in a PayPal button into there for them to go and do it. So I'm going to have to go over here. I'm going to have to go and log in to my test PayPal account. So I have to give it a second to go and do this. I have to put my security stuff in and get all that going. I love all the security for PayPal in here, but we'll go and get that done. And there we go. We're now inside our PayPal account. And we're going to head up to pay and get paid up here. I'm going to head straight down to PayPal buttons. So when I mentioned earlier on, we have these different types of buttons in here. It's these ones we're going to be looking for. And that process I've just gone through there, it could look a little bit different depending where you are in the world for this. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to choose either buy now or subscribe, depending what process you want to go for. Now, there's two different ways you can sell fixed programs or you can sell subscriptions. I think I might do a subscription one now, actually, because there's some more cooler things I can show you with that. So I'm going to do a subscription one. I'm going to assume people are signing up and they're going to pay X amount a month for your coaching. So let's just go into subscribe on here. We're going to sell this subscription button in here in our PayPal account. So once we're in here, we've got subscriptions at the top. We're going to give it a name. So I'm going to call this monthly online coaching. And I'm going to come straight down to this one here, the billing cycle. So let's say we're going to do $295 per month is going to be the coaching value inside here. Billing cycle is 1 month, but we can have it to any length of time we want in here. You could choose how long you want it to run for. So if you're doing installments, for example, over like 12 months, you could switch this to do it for 3 months. If it's just going to be an ongoing membership, hit never. They'll just keep going until either you cancel it or the client cancels it. And that is literally all you need to do at this point. So you may have watched other training on using PayPal buttons and things like that in PTD. This is why I recommend doing it this way, because that's it. That's all you need to do to set up a PayPal button. There's no swapping bits of codes and identifiers and all that kind of weird stuff you have to do. It keeps it really, really simple. So subscription, monthly online coaching, the amount, how often you want to charge that amount, how long you want to charge it for. That's it. If you want to do a free trial or something like that, really easy to do. Just tick this box here. And if it's free, just type in 0 and say if you're going to give a month's free trial, you can do that and have it for 1 month. You can even do some really cool things in here. Let's say if you wanted to sell the first, say, 3 months up front and then get them into monthly membership automatically, you can also do that with this as well. If you want to do that, what you do here when it comes to offering a trial period, you turn that to whatever your 3-month value would be. So let's turn that to 3 months, but then leave this one as $295 per month. Then what will literally happen then is they'll get charged $997 when they sign up. And then after 3 months, they'll automatically get charged $295 and they'll continue to get charged that until you cancel it or they cancel it. So there's lots of cool things you can do here when it comes to payments and things like that with PayPal. And the beauty about this is, well, you can manage all this inside PTD and have automation set up. So if payments fail and all that kind of stuff, it'll automatically make sure they don't have access to stuff. And the other beauty about this is, well, if payments do fail or the cards expire, PayPal does all the chasing for you. They'll make sure their things are always up to date. So this does all the work for you. PTD does all the work for you. And these are the kind of things you want to be thinking about when it comes to automations to start off in your business. A lot of people try and automate everything, but start with the basics, start with the onboarding, start with the payment stuff. It's going to make life so much easier. But for now, though, we're going to go straight in just to a monthly payment cycle. That's all we're going to do. All I'm going to do now is hit create button. This is going to create my button in PayPal. I'm going to take this code here. So the website one is what we're looking for. This code, hit select codes. I'm going to right click and copy that. I'm then going to head back over into Peter Distinction, and we're here in this package again. I'm going to paste that into my next box down here. So that's dropped in. And all I'm going to do in this box here is just put in a subscription payment of whatever I said it was now. What I said it was, $295, I think it was, per month in there. You don't have to put anything in there, but I just think it adds a little bit of clarity when signing people up to do that. I'm not really bothered what sex they are because I'm not really using the body fat percentage calculator, so I'm just going to go for male on there. Again, it's irrelevant in this case. I'm not bothered about the phone numbers. I want to remove login details because, as you've seen already, that group I've got set up, that welcome group that we've shared with you already inside PTD, already has that email in there with those details on. So we don't need to send another welcome email out with their details on. It's already in here. And the other advantage of this, and anyone here that's added clients in manually, if you like, where you go to clients, add and put them in, and you send the email out that way, you'll notice you can't really edit that email too much. You know, can they put like a little message in? And also it self-generates a password for them. And that could sometimes cause issues. People forget the passwords, all that kind of stuff. When you do it this way, it's your own email, your own writings, everything you want. It's got your branding and everything on it, your message on it. And they've set their own password, because what we're going to do is use these pre-made package forms I'm going to show you in a second, and they create their own passwords in there. So that means even if they're waiting for an email to come through, it doesn't matter, because they're going to instantly get asked to go and log in. They get the links to download the app, and they can get straight in and get straight involved. So they have that instant gratification by following this process here, as opposed to the other way around, where they might be paying you over the phone. You don't have to go away and set them up. They have to wait for the email to come through. They might have issues with passwords and all that kind of stuff. We're completely eradicating all of that. And we're just using these packages to automate that entire process, that repeatable process you do again and again and again. And it's going to make a better experience for your client and also your life much easier as a coach. Now, I'm also going to use that abandoned cart thing. I talked about this earlier on. So I've got that training if you want to check it out in the video I did yesterday in the group. And I'm going to use that in here. So I'm actually going to click this here. It's called Add as Print Only. And what this basically means is I put this payment thing up here. And when we look at this form in a second, the form is going to collect the email address. That's going to set the password first. Then it's going to bring them through to PayPal to take that payment. Once the payment's cleared, it's then going to add them into Peter Distinction automatically. It's going to put them in as an active client so they can actually log in, and it's going to add them to any groups or these groups here that we've put in. Now, down here, let's say they go through that process, maybe their payment fails, or maybe they get to the PayPal thing and they go, nah, I'm not bothered, I'm not doing that, I'm going to back away, I'm going to think about this a bit more. But when that happens, sometimes it's usually enough to think, oh, the client might go, I'm going to come back later. I'll do it later on. I'll put my details in later. It's fine. Then they can't find the link again. They can't find the website. And before you know it, they bought Joe Wicks' program or whatever else they bought around the corner. You want to stop all that stuff from happening. So what we can do here is create another group called an abandoned cart group. And in that abandoned cart group, we can have an email sequence that goes out that brings the client back to the sales page we're about to make in a moment. So inside here, we're going to hit the drop-down menu, and I've already got this abandoned cart group made here. And what it's going to do is when someone puts their email address in, it's going to add them into PTD. They won't be active. They're going to be print only or inactive. So they're not going to count towards your client quota. And if you've gone over your client quota, it's not going to charge you anymore or anything like that. But it's going to add them in, and it's going to put them into this group. And because inactive clients, print only clients, they can receive emails, we can have this email sequence going out to them all automatically. So we've got that main part of our package set up there. We don't worry about the create vouchers. Like I said, it's got nothing to do with what we're actually setting up here. And then the advanced section now, we're going to go in and extend our access. So what I want to do is make sure that when a payment is due, if a client misses the payment, that they no longer have access to the programs that we're giving them. So in order to do that, I'm going to select this option here. And because we use PayPal, we can do this. And I'm going to extend this by, I'm going to do 5 weeks. So that means every time a payment is received through PayPal, it's going to send a message automatically to PTD and say, okay, this client is now paid. And what that's going to tell the PTD software to do is to say, okay, for the next 5 weeks, that client's going to have access. If another payment is made within that 5-week period, then another payment, and it will then extend access again. Another payment's made, it'll extend access again, and so on and so on. But if a payment is not made within that 5-week period, after 5 weeks, PTD will automatically switch the client from an active client to an inactive client. So it'll switch them over. So that again will happen all completely automatically. So once that's done, I can then hit save, click OK. And now we have our onboarding package down here that we've just gone to go and set up. So I'm going to click view on here. Actually, I'll get the right one. It wasn't that one we did. It was this one, our online coaching package. Just our 3 groups in, as you can see. I'm now going to click view and edit. I'm going to go back to my Sell Online section. And you'll notice now we have some new code that has appeared. And there's this code here we're going to go and use on our website. So I'm going to go and highlight this code here, copy that. We're going to go and head over to our website over here. Now, for this example, I'm going to use Wix. I've just used a sample website inside here. It doesn't really matter what website you use. As long as your website has the ability to add in custom code, you'll be fine to make this work. So I'm going to go over here to a page, and I'm going to go and find a, let's just go and do a sales page or a landing page inside here. I found one I've made already. There you go. So we've got a little page inside here. I'm going to make some space in here. I'm going to put like a blank strip in, and we're going to turn this into a bit of a sales page. So on this page here, put all the information about your program. So you talk about the benefits of your program inside here. And I did mention in the post when I put this up yesterday, I was doing this training, I talked a little bit about some of the things that we see work well when it comes to this kind of thing here when you're trying to sell for your site. The best advice I can give you when it comes to what you do with your page here is make sure that the top of your page calls out exactly who your client is and the problem you're going to solve for them. If they don't see that within the first few seconds, they're not going to carry on scrolling. So you need to call out who it's for and very quickly what problem you're solving for them up here. Then they'll start scrolling down to explore a bit more. And what you want to include down here are the benefits of your program. You want to talk about how you're going to help them. Don't talk about yourself. Don't talk about your qualifications. Most of your clients couldn't care less what qualifications you got, not at this point. At the moment, you need to reestablish what you put up here. So you want to be talking about how you can actually help them. Like, what is their problem? Dig into their problem a little bit more and talk about how your program can benefit them and help them solve that particular problem. That's what your sales copy, your sales page needs to be about. Once you've gone through that, you can then start talking a bit more about the features and what's included. A lot of people spend so much time talking about the app and the app and the app and the app. The app is just a tool that's you're going to use to help coach your client to solve whatever problem it is they've got. Don't focus too much energy around the app. The app is just a feature, a tool. So what you want to be doing with your features, and we can use the app as an example for that, is talk about how that feature is going to benefit them and help them solve that problem. So one example might be they're short on time, they can't get to the gym, and they don't know what availability they've got from day to day because of their workload. So by having an app, it means you've got me as a coach in your pocket. So you can actually work out in your own time at a time that suits you, but we're still going to be sat there giving you all the information you need through detailed descriptions and detailed videos for your programs, for your exercises. We also have the option as well for you to record the actual exercise itself that you're doing to make sure you're doing it correctly. We can give you feedback on that. And we're going to be there for you, holding you accountable in that app. So you can talk about how those features, if you like, are going to benefit the client. They're the kind of things you want to be talking about on here. And then at that point, when you get to the bottom of the page, that's when you want to be talking about actually selling them. You start talking about how much it's going to cost and all that kind of thing. And then what we need to do is when we get to that bit is to work out how we're actually going to take money and sign them up. And it's this code here that's going to allow us to go and do that. So we've copied that code. We're heading over here. And I'm going to now go and add in an embed module or a HTML module or something along those lines. So you're going to be looking for something called embed code. It's going to look like this. Now, depending on what builder you use will depend on how this process actually works. But what you're looking for really is this symbol. Pretty much every builder you look at, website builder, will have this symbol on it somewhere. And that's basically like a universal symbol for code or custom code or whatever. But this could be called embed. It could be called HTML. It could be called just code. It could be just called custom code. Lots of different things it could be called, but it's this symbol you're looking for. You want to go and add that in somewhere on your page on here. So we're going to go and pull it open somewhere, and you want to click, in this case, enter code. But depending again on what builder you use will depend on how this process works. But there'll be somewhere where you can put your code in. You can then click update, and it will pop in that code. You can already see a form start to appear. Now, with Wix, you actually have to adjust this to suit the size of the actual thing itself, the account and stuff you're doing in here. you have to go and do that. But if you're on something like WordPress, for example, and you're using the builder on there, it might auto adjust for you. It just depends on the builder you're going to use. So it's created this form in here. You can see here now the client can put the lead, if you like, client can put in their details, put their password in, and actually sign up. And this form here is unique to this particular package. You can have as many packages as you like. So there's lots of different packages on your site if you want to, but each one of these is unique to your account, to this particular package. So when a client actually comes to fill this form in, it's going to trigger things all automatically. So that's what I'm going to go and do now. I'm actually going to go and publish this. And I'm going to go and grab the URL from this. Again, depending on your website builder, depends on exactly how this process is actually going to go and work for you on there. Just make sure I've got all the right ones on here. Let's click on this one and click on this to go through to it. So here we are on here. It's going to head over into Incognito tab to do this so I can show you what happens. So here we are in the site on here. And I'm going to come down. You can see we have our little sign up form at the bottom ready to go here for our clients. And I'm going to go and sign up a client to this package in here. So I'm going to first of all do this with the PayPal button switched on. So I want to show you what happens. So I'm going to go in here. It's going to be a fake email address, obviously. And there, put the password in. Set my time zone. Tell the world I'm not a robot. And hit create an account. So there you go. You can see my PayPal button has now appeared for me, so I can go subscribe and sign up, and away we go from there. Now I'm going to head back over to PTD. It's probably going to ask me to go and log back in again now. Not a problem if I have to. Oh no, we're all good. So at the moment, we've just gone down to this package down here, and that PayPal button, as you saw before, is popped up. So if we open this up, you can see our PayPal button has popped up in here, and it's giving us all those details. Now, I actually want to bypass that. I want to bypass this and just sign up as a client so I can demonstrate how it is. Now, if you ever want to do this and test this out, you can do exactly the same process. This thing here, as I mentioned, this code is unique to this package. So anything you change in this package will automatically update on your website once it's done, because this code is unique. So if I switch this to no payment now and hit save on your website, now when I go and do that, I go through here, gives a little refresh. We head down to our form, and we fill it in. It will actually update us, so it will be no longer be taking any type of payment in here. What it'll be doing is just letting me sign up as a client and onboarding into the program. So you just got to imagine that payment's been taken here. So this page can be on your website. You can drive traffic to it. You can share it on your Instagram. You can share it on your Facebook and whatever you want to do. They can come along, they can pay, they can sign up, put themselves in your account. So at this point, you've just made a sale. They filled in the form. Normally what you might be doing with your clients, thinking, right, that's happened. My PayPal notification has come up. Maybe it's 3 o'clock in the morning or something. You're thinking, I've got to get back to my client because I need to get this information to me. You're panicking and you're constantly on call all the time. But because we've set up this premium package, because we've done all these groups in advance, all that stuff is automated. So now if I come back into here, I'm going to go straight back to my clients at the top. And I'm going to go down here. I'm going to go to active clients. I'm going to go and filter this to date added. And there you go. You can see we have our Ash test client added in today into this program, but no programs are in there yet because we haven't set anything up for them. But if I click on this now and go inside their account, you'll actually see if I go to the setup, all that coaching content is in, ready for them to go. The forms are in, ready for them to go. Up in the message center in the top corner, it's all ready for them to go. And that's from those groups that we set up earlier. You can actually find those groups up here in this little section here for the groups. So you can see the client's been automatically added to them. So by the time you actually wake up in the morning, you've had your coffee, you're ready to go, you log into your account, say, oh, I've got some new clients in here. You go into your client area, you filter it down just to see what's going on. I'd go active clients, filter it to they added, see how many have got the red dots on. Okay, I've got one new client that signed up last night. Amazing, made some dollar, which is all good. Click on there and I can now start looking at what they've done. Have they completed their forms? And whatever I see on the activity will tell me what they've done. And at this point, I can either drop the message, I could go into the in-app message down here, or just click on this and just say like, hey, Great to have you on board. Just make sure when you get a chance to complete your forms if you haven't done it already, or if you're following the process that we've actually done here, if you use the groups that we've set up and it's using the onboarding process that we talk about in that onboarding training that I mentioned at the start of this live masterclass, if you follow that process, the chances are they would have done this already. We've designed all this based on a lot of data that we see over at PT Ninja. When we've been doing our done for you service and we set things up for people, we get a lot of data about what works and what doesn't. And this process here with these groups that we shared with you is designed to try and get people to do all this stuff straight away. And we see that the majority of the time when you follow this process, it gets done straight away. So by the time you get to this, their forms are completed and their tracking's all done. They're all ready to go. So hopefully when you get to this point, you can log in and you can start doing stuff inside their account, building out programs and adding things in as you normally would do, clicking the add button and just building stuff out for them. Does that make sense so far? Has anybody got any questions at all? If they do, just again, let me know in the comments. And I'll try and answer them as we go through stuff. So basically, though, that's how you would set up and sell something through your website using PTD, using premium packages and using groups. And if you utilize some of the free groups we're giving you there already, drop them into your account, use a premium package, set it up like I've done there, use the PayPal stuff. This is by far the quickest way to do it. And that was my main aim with this one. I hope I've actually achieved that with you. It's just to show you really that the fundamentals of some of the advanced stuff you can do with PTD. Of course, it's easy enough to go in there, log in, add a client, away you go. But you want to start thinking, how can I automate some of this onboarding stuff? How can I start selling from a website? That is how I would do it if I was setting things up. It's the quickest and simplest way to do it. Obviously, I know I talked about it here, but the actual whole process, once you've got your group set up, and especially if you use the white label ones that we've given you on here, you can have that done within 10, 15 minutes. The longest process will probably be writing sales copy for your sales page. But even on that lines, don't worry too much about it. I mean, the chances are when you're selling to your clients in the early days, when you're starting out online, is you're doing this through sales calls or you'll be having conversations online, in which case you don't need to have lots of information on that sales page. All you really need is just a little bit of detail on there, because you're going to be sending links when you've done all the hard work already. You've already made that sale. So you're sending them a link for them to go and sign up, and away they go with it. Yeah, I hope that all makes sense. Like I say, if it doesn't, if you're watching on the replay, just drop the questions in the comments and I'll do my best to jump back on and try and answer them as we go through it all. One thing I did mention that I would show you is how to do this if you was taking payment over the phone. Well, I've already kind of shown you how to do that already. When I switched that pre-made package over to no payments and I went to go and fill that form in, that's how I'd actually do it if I was taking payment other than PayPal. So if I was taking payment over the phone, for example, I'd say, okay, that's excellent, great. Thanks for signing up. Thanks for your payment. I've just sent you a link through. On that link, it's going to give you the details to go and sign up. That's how I would do it. You send the link through to that page, make it a hidden page on your website so no one can see it unless they have the link. Send them that link. They fill that form in and it adds them in automatically. It does all that onboarding process. So you don't have to do any of that with them. Allow it to happen automatically. It's going to be a much better experience again for you and for your clients. The other thing I mentioned I was going to do as well is talk about a little bit more about some of the automated things you can do. So let's say we've got to this stage here with your clients and we're on board and you can start now building out stuff inside their account. That doesn't take a lot of time, but it can take a bit of time. And we've already explored a little bit about how you can utilize groups with PTD already. And I wanted to show you a bit further what you can do with that just for the last 5 minutes or so. So let's say our clients completed their details in here and we want to add them into a workout program. So instead of going into ads and then going into programs, what we can actually do here is we can utilize groups instead to add them into it. So on here, if you went this way, you pull in from your templates, it's fine to go and do it that way. But what we can do is go to groups. And then here we can click add group, hit the drop down menu. And what we've actually done already is we made some pre-made groups in here. So beginner home, advanced home, beginner gym, advanced gym, and so on at different frequencies throughout each week. So let's say we want to do an advanced home 4-day split with a client. I can go in here and I can either start it now, I can pick a date in the future, just like we did with the premium packages, but we're now doing it at a client level. I can click add and OK. And what that's going to do is copy over that group with just those workouts in. So remember how I mentioned you could have multiple groups, you can use this group stacking thing. So now that quickly, I've looked through the forms and think, okay, this client, they're working out at home. They're pretty advanced already based on what they've done, and they can work out 4 times a week. So now already, look in their account, there they go, workouts are in, scheduled out, ready to go. And I've done that by setting up a group with those programs in. And again, if you want to find out how to, so I've got some training on exactly how to do this. all you got to do is ask in the group. Honestly, all these little things you got here, just ask and away you go. There's lots of cool things you can do with this, but it's always worth just showing you some of these bits. Let's say as well you want to do something with nutrition with the client as well. Maybe they want to work on getting more protein into the diet. You could go into add, put the food diary in there. You could put a text document in, explain about protein intake. You could set up a habit for it. Or you can maybe have groups that are set up in order to add that stuff in. So you can go groups at the top, click add, hit the drop down menu. Maybe there's a habit somewhere inside here. And let's say we go for protein of each meal. I want to go and add that in. So that quickly from onboarding the client, they've onboarded, they've done all the stuff themselves. I've come in here the next day, I've seen that they're actually on. And that quickly now they've got a 12-week workout inside there that I can go in the adapter just for them, of course. You know, groups work by copying content into clients' accounts. So once they're in a client's accounts, I can edit this, it'll only affect that client. And then over here on this side, I've got my protein inside there. I've got my protein habits set up down the bottom. All this completely automated and kind of ready to go. So you can take these groups a little bit further if you want to. And as I mentioned, come check out Module 2 if you want to find out a little bit more about Module 2 Masterclass, if you want to find a little bit more about groups and how you can really utilize those. And the last thing I said I was going to mention as well that I know some people have asked for is, okay, once you want to deliver some of this stuff completely automatically, I said you can do this automatically as well. Well, the only real difference between what we've done here today and the fully automated version of the program is what you do inside the pre-made package. So in that pre-made package, if you wanted this to be an automated program, you could use something like we have over here, for example, which is a 12-week automated program, where inside here we've actually put in all the groups of all the content in. So the content actually drip feeds out to them. So I can give you a little example of that, how that would work. If say I was inside here with this group, and I want to give them a 12-week nutritional coaching program. Maybe I want to give them some workouts as well to go and work on. I can go and add that into my pre-made package. And then over here, if we do this a little refresh again in here, and we're going to fill in our form again. Some random email address in there. We're filling our form again on here, and it's actually going to trigger this in their account, but it's going to add everything in. And this is why I really wanted to kind of show you this. This is why I wanted to very quickly end to show you how easy it is to change those pre-made packages. So once you've got these packages in place, once you've got the group structure in place, and yes, there's a lot that we're talking about, but once you've got it in place, it gives you lots of flexibility. And I'm not saying you should start off like that. And the best ways to start off doing this is exactly what we've done in this training, is take that welcome group, take that results tracking group that we're giving you in the white label content in the community area for you, set it up in a pre-made package just like I've done here, put a PayPal button in at whatever price you want to sell it for, pull it onto a page on your website, away you go. Start off with that and then start building up stuff from there. And you can, once you've done that, it really just allows you to do some pretty cool things. Like in this one, for example, you can see we now have programs already in, coaching content already in, ready for them. All the forms and stuff in for them, all the tracking and stuff in for them, all the email sequences in for them, because we've just quickly updated that pre-made package and turned it into an automated program. And that is literally how quick you can do things in PTD when you have the right kind of structure and stuff in place. There you go. That was me talking for a long time, as I always do with these kind of things. But I hope that's been helpful. I know a couple of people are asking about different ways of doing payments and selling stuff through your website using PTD. Hopefully this has helped you put that together. And I hope some of the free resources that we're giving you as well is really going to help you put that together. Whether you use those resources or not, it's probably a good idea just to copy them over and just try it out and get a feel for how it might actually work. You can always adapt it and adjust it to suit your own needs and wants for your programs when you do that. Is there any other questions and stuff coming in? John just said, yeah, too quick for me. Yeah, there's a lot, especially that last bit. There's a lot of quick stuff I did on that one. As I said, the best way to do this now you've watched through it is just to watch it back on the replay and have a feel about the different things you can do inside PTD. Have a go at setting those things that we've talked about in there. You know, have a go at doing the onboarding stuff. Have a go at doing that premium package, and just get started with it. You know, at this point, hopefully you've done some stuff in PTD already. This here is really just to try and save you a little bit of time. We know that a lot of time is lost on the onboarding process and the payment process. And as you can see there, that whole thing can be done in an instant. It can be done whilst you're sleeping if you want to. So that's one of the simplest ways to go and do it. That's what I recommend you go and do if you want to try and find a way of simplifying this and making it easier. And then you can progress into some of the more advanced stuff that we looked at the end there for the last 5 minutes, utilizing groups a little bit more. And of course, if you are watching this and you're thinking you do actually want to really get into some of this more automated stuff, and maybe you're struggling about how to do that, maybe you're struggling about how to actually set things up, or maybe you're struggling about what kind of process to go through and how to actually deliver your services online, or maybe you're just struggling to create all the content and stuff you need. We do actually have a service available over at PT Ninja to help you do all that. We actually have a number of services. One's a done for you service where we work with you and create everything for you, do all the technical stuff, integrate everything for you, build everything out for you, literally do everything. But we also have something called the PT Ninja 101 course. And that course is it's lifetime access. It's a huge white label library there of content, both in Canva that you can use, but also in that community area that you can plug and play into your account. And it's all completely brandable. You can brand it all up however you want to. We show you exactly how to set it up. We help you build the system into your PT that we've seen work time and time again. We take you through exactly how to set it all up and link it all up together. And we also show you how to go and market and sell your services as well, and show you exactly how to use it, how to coach clients, how to take your skills as an in-person trainer and apply them online through PTD. And we give you all that kind of stuff to do alongside extra support as well. So you've got me and the rest of the team on call if you need an extra help and support with anything as you go through it all. So yeah, if you want to have a look at that, feel free to go and check it out. It's over at ptninja.com. But I definitely employ anyone here watching to have a go at just doing what I've done there. And I think just by doing that, it's going to give you a really good understanding of these fundamental principles of automation in PTD and really help you speed up and save time in some of those areas that we know a lot of trainers do spend a lot of time doing where they shouldn't really need to be. And these systems here are going to allow you to save back some of those hours. Awesome. What we've got down here, John, I feel you must be kind of sucked to have a life like that. Yeah, it's not too bad. You actually a lot of people. We have a lot of people. Like one of the things we do when it comes to working online, we do know that a lot of coaches do struggle working online sometimes because it can be quite lonely. One of the things we actually do over at PT Ninja is our academy, and the academy has these deep work sessions where you can just come on, jump on, and just get some work done. And it's normally me there or Jed there or one of the other team, and we just sit and work with you. If you've got questions to ask, it's fine. I mean, I did one yesterday. We had a client come on. And yeah, we just sat there having a cup of coffee, just chatting and putting the worlds to rights. And the whole idea is just to add a bit more of that personal touch. So you've got someone with you to help and support you and work with you and things like that. So yeah, it can be lonely sometimes as an online coach, but there's ways to make it more interesting. And we try and help you with that as well. Right. And I think that's it for me. I don't think any other questions unless anybody's got any. Again, I hope that's been really, really useful for people. Like I say, if you are watching the replay and you've got questions, please pop it into here and let me know. I'll always be around as always. And if you've got any questions about anything else, if you want any more help and support, you want any extra training, there's something you're not sure about, just tag me in on the Facebook group and I'll either put some short trains together like I did yesterday, or if we've got like a decent subject to talk about, a big subject I used to talk about, we'll do a live on it and we can talk through it all. Next week, I'm going to be back on with another live. I'm going to have a guest on next week. We're going to be talking a bit more about actually website building and about how to what kind of things to include on your website, how to help with conversions on your website. So if you're struggling to convert clients on your website, we've got an expert coming in next week from a company called Marketing Wolf who they don't just specialize in personal training, they actually specialize in also, they do all sorts of different things. And I thought it'd be interesting to bring somebody in who's not just about personal training, actually has a bigger picture on all the different things. So we're bringing them in next week to come and talk to you about that. And hopefully they can give you some tips on what you can do on your website and your sales pages or in your marketing that you can just tweak in order to actually bring in some or actually convert more of your leads into paying clients. So that's going to be next week. I'll put details of that up in the group soon. That's it for me again. Thank you very, very much. As always, any questions, let me know. Have an absolutely awesome rest of your week and weekend, and I'll speak to you all soon. Cheers, everyone. Bye-bye.